Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back to the Glassman's World. So, we're about to get started here. Let me make sure this is all in a good spot here. Moving even more. Okay, what's going on here? All right, sorry about all that movement, guys. I think we're good here. It might be a little too low. All right, we'll figure this out. I moved the camera so everything got rearranged. Let me just move this, reset a little bit better right here. Okay, there we go. That should work really good. All right, you guys. So, good morning. Good morning. All right, just making sure that the microphone is picking up from right here. That way you guys can hear me. Let's get the safety glasses on here real quick. And get the torch on. So before we get started, let me just show you this here. So this isn't a pendant, but I wanted to show you what a wig wag is. So wig wag is basically where you get colors of glass and then you twist them one way, then you twist them back the other way, and then you twist them back that way, and then the other way. So you kind of twist it one way, twist it the other way. So we're going to do a quick, simple demonstration here, about, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes, and I got to get going. I got to go help someone out with getting their air conditioner set up. It's extremely hot these days, pushing 100 degrees here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So, yeah, I got to go help out our friend and get her air conditioner on this morning. All right, and then I'll probably come back and just get on the torch again. I don't think that'll take me too long, 30 minutes to an hour. We're waiting for the kiln to get started. And it usually takes a good 30 minutes, right? All right, and hopefully the sound and everything, sound quality is good. I don't really know. I won't know until someone comes in and lets me know, but I do believe that the microphone here is picking up off the camera. And that's what I need. All right. I put that in my pocket, yeah. So we're going to make, I don't really know exactly. We're just going to make a couple pendants here, different colors. I'm not really sure what colors I want to play with today, but I've got a lot of new colors. I got some black here. I got this one here. It's always a good color. Some cobalt. Some cobalt, and how about some red? We want cherry red, or do we want cherry red? Might be pretty good. And then maybe some white. All right. All right, let's play with these colors here, and let's see what this looks like. Hey, good morning. You're up early. Sorry, I don't have the chair set up. All right, so I only got like 30 minutes or so, guys. So we're gonna get started here. I'm just gonna pull some of these stringers real quick. So basically, to make a wig wag, you need to know how to do stringers, how to gather the glass, and how to twist and shape the glass. By the So we're gonna get started here using the 16 millimeter rod. And I'm just gonna make, I guess, what I'd call like a blank. So I'm basically just gonna make something that I can use again and again. And we can wig wag each one differently. All right, so basically we're gonna use clear glass. The other thing is when I make these, I call them like my window pendants. They're like a see-through necklace, and then it has solid color on the outside of it. So actually, I'm not going to. I don't know, how does that work. I'm like, now I'm trying to decide, how does the wig wag work and the clear glass. Okay, that's got to go on the outside. Right. Okay, cool. So we'll just get started here. I'm just going to lay some colors down. And I'm not really sure exactly how I want to do this. So it's a little white. So it's another little white on the other side here. I'm going to try to stop them directly at the same length. I'm just going to go right next to that white. So we'll go next to this white. And these are going to be kind of thick. Just trying to think, what colors do I really want? White, blue. I want to add this in here. So this is a caramel. We'll add that right next to the blue. I'll put a little bit more white in there. Go on the opposite side. So I'm trying to match these colors up, but you don't have to. You can make these colors pretty random if you'd like. And then, do we want to go red? I want to add something different in there. Okay. Instead of that crayon red, I'm gonna go with this red here, which is a dark pomegranate. I'll just add that to the top there. Try to draw the lines so where they're all the same length. All right, and now I'm gonna stretch the tip out and melt this all down. We're gonna pretty much stretch it. We'll use the paddle here. So the trick is keeping the glass pretty much separate. I mean, you can make the lines solid all the way right next to each other, one next to the other, next to the other. You know, actually, that'd be kind of cool, huh? Add a little black in between all those lines. Let's color the whole thing solid. All right, we'll see how this looks. I'm just gonna do it and stretch this out. I'm gonna use the pendant as its own like handle. I'm gonna make a stringer like that real quick, and then we'll just snap that off. We'll just snap it off. It ain't snapping off. Okay, whatever. Just melt it off then. And we're gonna go in between each line here with the black. Or maybe we just surround the white, huh? I don't know. That'd be interesting to just coat the white. All right, well, I'm putting a black next to every white, and so far what it's doing is just making it go in between each one because where I laid the white. Okay, there's a little clear break right there. We skip one, so we're gonna have a little bit of clear in it. That's good. And we'll keep that clear, so it'll be like a negative space. All right, and I think this is the last one here, the last white that we're gonna draw a line next to. Bam. Okay. Now, I don't know how that's gonna look. Hopefully it's not too muddy looking. All right, now I'm going to try to just line up these colors. Some of these colors are hanging down a little lower. So what I'm doing is I'm using the paddle to push them up to the line next to each other and just trying to make like a straight line, wrapping it around. What I'm saying is like just melting that and then pushing it up. So that way the straight lines going down they'll be all at the same. It's like the same line. You see that? There's like one. You see that one like a little bit lower? I thought I saw one a little lower. Yep, right there. Move that one. All right. Like I said, we only got a little bit of time here. Hopefully the sound quality is good. Hopefully you guys can hear the audio. You can hear me well. All right, we're just going to melt this in now. We're going to melt all the colors down. We're going to get all the colors infused with the clear glass. Yeah, that line looks pretty good. And then a lot of this on the top tip right here, we're going to lose a lot of it. We're going to pull it. We want to make sure all the colors come together right there. So a lot of that will become scrap, which I'll save, and then I'll use that for something else. You know, I can always twist that and turn that into some sort of mushrooms or something like that. So I'm just going to heat this up a little bit, and we'll save this piece right here. All right, I'm just going to take this off, and that way I can also, hold on a sec, before I take it off, we're going to stretch this whole thing. And then that way we have a little bit more of the area to work with, so we can start to wig wag, and I'll show you what I mean. So now we're just going to stretch this whole thing out. Just like that. And then this is the portion that I wanted to take off, was about right here. So we'll save all that. I'll give the end a nice little twist and pull. And then, like I said, we're going to save this. So I got a lot of different scrap glass. I'll just put that right there. Now we have all these lines, and it's a lot skinnier and it's a lot longer, and now we can work with it. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to bring the heat down some. We're going to figure out which way that twist went on that first twist. We're going to hook it up to the punty here. We're just going to actually twist it this way. Hold on one second. Let me reconnect that punty. That was a real crooked connection there. I'm going to pull this to a point so that way we get a nice connection. Okay, that's in the way. that right there. All right, so let's reconnect this punchy here. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so now it twists that way. So then what we have to do is we got to then spin it the other way and allow it to twist the opposite way. And then you let it set up. And then you just go right underneath that and you twist it back the opposite way. And you want to try to keep your twist pretty even. And then go back the other way. So you're basically just making your spins go one way, then going the other way, or spinning clockwise and spinning counterclockwise. And then what we're going to do is we're going to gather this all back down and round it back to a nice round pendant, and then flatten it. And we'll hopefully keep some clear glass on the edge of it to make the window, so it'll be like you're looking through it. You can see through the edge of it and stuff. Maybe you can see how it's looking. See what I mean? You spin it one way, then you spin it the other way. Spin it one way, spin it the other way. So you just go clockwise and counterclockwise. Or what you're doing is you're like getting it hot. And right now I need to spin my left hand more than my right hand, so that way it spins it that way, right? And then I let it set up, move it over just slightly away from that spin, and then I let my right hand spin faster than my left hand, and so it brings the glass the opposite way. That's all it is. Good morning, Madame Star. So I believe I'll be shipping out today. Got to go do a quick job this morning, and I still got to search for what'd you say, December 13th or 18th? I know it's somewhere in December. You sent the address, so I'll get that to you. But thank you and good morning. It's a good day so far. And we're working on these wig wags here. Wig wags are really fun. So I'm just doing a quick demonstration here. We're almost at the end of the color now. So we're just going to spin that one last time with the clear glass. And then we got to bring this whole thing down and melt it all back down to a nice round ball. Oh yeah, wig wags are fun, and they're not too hard. You just got to know what you're doing. That's all. Yeah, that's gonna look nice. All right. That looks good. All right, now we're just going to twist off the end. We're going to get a nice spiral at the end here. And hopefully that'll be the center piece, or the center point position of it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you send it, then I won't have to search for it. It'll just be right there in the email. The weather has been super hot. It's been like 100 degrees. That's why I need to go help our friend this morning with her air conditioner. We have swamp coolers out here. They're like evaporative cooler units. They hold water in the inside, and then they got pads that are on all sides, that where the air gets sucked in, the intake. The air goes through wet pads. So we have these like lines that are hooked up to the what do you call those? I'm going to say faucet, but it's not the faucet. The spigot, to where for your garden hose and everything, you put an adapter there. And some people don't know about what swamp coolers are, but you basically have a line of water running to a pump. It keeps itself filled the whole time. Oh man, this wig wag looks awesome. So now we have all the color on the surface, but when we bring this all down to one again, then it's going to there's going to be some clear glass mixed with it, and this wig wag should look really, really awesome. So then it'll be reversible, so you can have either the clear glass looking at it from one way, or you can have the surface glass looking at it from the other way. So it'll be a reversible pendant. And then it's going to be a window pendant, so there'll be some clear glass on the rim or the edge of this. And then what I like to do is I like to put a solid band of color around the outside of that to just hold it all in place, so it's like a window with like a window panel going around it in solid color. And it's a round disc shape, and so that's what we're doing right here. We're making my Wig Wag window pendant. Oh, it's been humid too, huh? Okay, yeah, you're close to Chicago. So you guys been getting a lot of moisture out that way. From what I've been observing my own self, I understand how they can dissipate the precipitation in clouds through different like aluminum dioxides and the things that they're putting in the silver what is it, iodide or silver oxide? Silver oxide. And they're putting all this stuff in the skies, and then it allows the clouds that have precipitation to move over to the next state and the next state. And then they, wherever they're not spraying too much, or they're using a different chemical compound to then allow those to allow the clouds to then create moisture instead of dissipating the moisture. It's really interesting how they can manipulate and modify weather. And now they're like creating, they've moved Tornado Alley to the whole East Coast pretty much. It's pretty interesting and scary, because those areas weren't built for that. Tornado Alley, those residents have been, they know where they move, they know what they got themselves into. There's shelters, there's storm shelters in place and things like that. But other places, it's not like that. All right, so now what I've done is I've collapsed that whole entire long piece back down, and I've condensed it or gathered the glass down. And it looks really, really nice, except I'm seeing one thing that I don't like. So we're going to correct that here. I'm noticing that the tip of it is leaning over to one side than the other. And if I want that spiral to be in the center, then I need to move the tip over. So you see how it's like leaning to one way than the other? So we're going to allow the whole piece to kind of settle and set up here. And then we're going to just heat up the tip and then just move it over a little bit. Yeah, but the wig wag is so cool. And then I made a super, super tight wig wag. Once it cools down, you'll be able to see it a little bit, I guess. I don't know. It looks so small and tight, and I don't have the ability to focus in. This camera is just a regular webcam thing. It doesn't have a focus or zoom or any cool abilities. So I apologize for that. Hopefully I'll be getting a phone soon. I thought I was going to try to get one here this past weekend. So we need to just figure that out still. All right. Does that work? I think so. I think I got that tip to the center there. I'm thinking maybe, let me just grab it here. I'm just going to pull it, force it over. There we go. All right. That made sure it's going in the center. Oh my gosh, what is that? Okay, what time is it? 7:40? I'm supposed to be leaving here pretty soon. I said I'd get there by 8 o'clock, and I got 20 minutes. It's only a 10-minute drive, so not too bad, but I don't think we're going to make it. So what I use are these colors here. Not this red, though. I went with a translucent dark pomegranate. I used the caramel. That's kind of got that like kind of changing color. The white, the cobalt blue, and then I also used the black. And the blue and the black are probably going to look similar, but that blue is going to allow the light to come through. And then this pomegranate right here, which is just a dark translucent red. So it might be super, super dark, but then also super light because I use a lot of white in there too. All right, I'm just going to straighten it out before I bring it all back down, and then we're going to mash it. So we're just going to heat up this whole thing. We're going to keep that center tip just like that. That's looking good. All right, so now I'm just going to round this up, this whole thing. I think I got it all straightened out like I need it to. And I could have left it all crooked. It's going to look really awesome even if that spiral isn't centered, but I kind of wanted to get it perfectly centered if I can. All right, so I'm just going to round it out here and just gathering the whole wig wag. So if you're just getting here, what I've done is I've drawn lines, basically going down the rod all the way around it. Then I um, pulled it, the whole thing. I stretched it out to where, I don't know if I can pick this up. Yeah, to where it looked like this, with a bunch of colored lines on it. I don't know if you can even see that. Bunch of colored lines. And then I spun it to where it's like one piece. I spun it here, and then right here I spun it, then right here I spun it, and then, working down it, you spin it back and forth, back and forth, instead of spiraling it all in one way. What's going on, Pro Cannabis Warrior? Good morning or good evening. I don't know. Might be evening time where you are, or something. Afternoon time. Greetings. So we're working on the Wig Wag right now. You'll have to go back and watch it all for the tutorial. And I gotta hurry up and get going. I guess I turned on the kiln for just one pendant. So what I'm planning on doing is mashing this all down with clear glass. This is going to be a bigger pendant than usual. These are usually like my $40 to $60 pendants here. Okay, so it's almost 420. What is it? Is it 345 right now or 445? Almost 420. So my 820 will be your 420, huh? That's easy to remember. As 8's half of 4. All right. So the trick is making sure that clear glass is gonna sandwich out or flatten out all the way to the end. So we need to actually get a lot of that clear glass, because I want that clear glass to be all the way to the rim or the edge of the glass when I mash this down. So we're gonna now gather, like, I don't know, a good inch or so. I'm gonna actually bring the torch up just a little bit. Now that we're hitting all that clear glass, and bring up the flame a little bit, we won't worry about boiling up any of the colors. So you want about the same amount of clear as you want for that color, so that way when you mash it down, it's like, you're splitting it in half, and you have the color going to the end or the rim, but you want that clear glass to also go with it. All right, so we're about there. You can see how big it is now compared. 420 all day long. Yeah, I was actually just, I had a really nice, oh yeah. I don't know if you've ever done solar hits, but you can also do hits off the glass using the flame. I'm not going to do it on camera because, YouTube or whatever. I got this cool, it's funny, I'm known as the glass man, right? And I found this really cool clay piece. It's a chili. Here in New Mexico, we're known for our green chile, green and red chile. And it's something that once you try it, at first people don't like it, I guess, but then it becomes like this acquired taste, and then people just love it. It's interesting because it's basically like a mild poison. It's chili burns, but it's medicinal too. I think it helps to like keep the parasites down and stuff. So eating a lot of chili is good for you. All right, we're about to mash it. We turned this into like an egg. Pretty much the color's on the front half, clear on the back half. Gonna mash it now, straight down. Bam. Yeah. Did I get it? I think so. That is such a tight wig wag. Oh my god. That looks sick. I can't wait till the colors come back out. I don't know if you can see that. Man, this camera does not do justice at all. It just looks like a bunch of nothing. All right. What's up, 420 audit? 420 all day. Yeah, so green chili or any chili, the capsaicin, I believe it's like a poison, it's a mild poison. I don't know if I got enough clear glass on there. I'm going to try to mash it down a little bit more and get more of that clear glass to the edge or the rim. I don't want to have to add clear glass, but I might. I might just add some clear around the rim and then some more color on the outside. The only thing is that's going to take a lot of time, and I'm supposed to be going here. I didn't think this was going to take this long. I thought we'd be done. All right, let's see. So I'm heating up the clear glass some more. I mean, I heated up the whole thing so I can flatten the bottom, but I'm trying to heat up this clear glass a lot more. That way I can get the clear to just get out to the edge a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I don't know if that did it. Making it huge though. This is going to be like a $50 or $60 pendant for sure. And in some glass blowers books, you know, they would charge 80 to $100 for something like this. I really do like to keep my glass affordable, extremely affordable, you know, and I just said a long time ago, if I'm making at least like $20 an hour, what I'm making, that's good. But usually you make at least double that when you're making stuff, you know. If I sold this for $80 and I make this in less than an hour, there you go. But you got to remember that also has to cover the cost of the gas, the oxygen, the propane. I mean, the glass, the material itself, it's not really like too much. You know, I'm using just a little bit of clear glass off this rod, and this rod doesn't cost too much alone, you know, maybe $10 for the whole rod. So we're using like $1 worth or less. That's, you know, 50 cents worth of glass, of clear glass. And then the color glass, of course, is more. You know, if this one comes out and I like the colors, I might just end up wearing this as a big old medallion for myself. It's huge now. Look at that. It went from 16 mil to almost 16 mil on each side. And we're talking like at least a 2.5 inch pendant. You know, 2 inch, 2 inch, I guess, 2 inch. Because what is 16 mil? 16 mil is like 3/4. All right, but I did get that clear glass finally on the edge or the rim, and I did get the Wig Wag flattened. So now we're going to hit the back side so I can flatten that down a little bit better and get that clear glass more on that rim. And I'm going to use the paddle for this so that way I can see what I'm doing and how much clear glass is coming over. So it stays, I want a rim of clear glass on the edge of the, where the Wig Wag is. Like right on the top of here, I want a rim of clear glass. So that way it's the window. Then you're looking through. And I'm going to have to remember to make these a lot smaller. A lot less colored glass. I thought I went small too. And then we stretched it out. I don't know how far we stretched that. All right, we're going to have to get that really, really hot. I have to sit here for a minute. So yeah, had I added just a little less color, so less is more, right? Less is more sometimes. And I try to make this short, but I got to remember we got to go smaller and then stretch out that color. And I guess I could have shortened it, right? By just twisting off some of that excess at the end. I thought about it, but I didn't want to lose it. I had spent all that time getting that center, that spiral perfectly in the center. I was like, what am I going to do? Just pull it off now and then redo all that? That thing's huge. Look at that. Like almost the length of my pinky. Whew, that's hot. Thank you. That's awesome looking. Nice. We use millimeters, and yeah, I know you guys are on the metric and we're on the, they call it the standard. It's the bullshit. I'd rather be on the metric. It makes things so much easier, right? Centimeters, like, you know, millimeters, kilometers. It just makes sense. It's like, then we add inches. How many inches are in a meter? It's like, why don't we just work with the freaking meter? No, no, no. The Queen says no. Americans must be standardized. Four-eighths of an inch. 4/8. You mean 5/8? Wait, 4/8 of an inch? I'm like, wait, what do you mean, a half? They're confusing me here. All right, I'm still trying to just get that clear glass to rim out just a little bit more. I'm spending way too much time here though, because I should have gone already. Okay, come on. I just want a little bit more clear glass on that rim, that's all. Alright, whatever. We're going to leave it at that. Okay, so now comes the next part that takes forever. And what do I want to do? Do I want to go white? I do like white pendants. I do like the way white pendants look. With all that white in there and then having the white pop out, that'd be nice. Okay, so now what we do is we just surround this whole thing 4/8 of an inch. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, did you see my hand was shaking? What's going on? You guys are making me nervous. Close your eyes. Just kidding. Alright, and just bring it all the way back around to where it first started. Making sure to attach those pretty good. That's also where I'm going to probably hang it from. Oh my gosh, this thing is so huge. You're trying to be like Mr. T over here, Flava Flav. Nine 911 is in the house. Flava Flav is in the house. That looks pretty good there. I'm going to push this up just a little bit this way. I got that clear rim, so I didn't touch any of the white at all to the color. So there is now empty space in between all that. That's good. And now we just got to seal this, all the white to the clear glass. And it's going to take a minute. Man, why did I go so big? I was supposed to leave. I was supposed to be done 15 minutes ago. It's 8:01. Uh-oh, it's almost 4:20. Get ready. Again. Man, I'm almost about to turn up the torch here. We might, actually. About to crank up the bigger torch. The only thing is anytime that I use the bigger torch, it always like overheats the camera when I had the phone. I've never tested it out with this camera. I don't know if this camera gets overheated or too hot. I don't know if it'll start delaying. You guys let me know if the camera gets too hot and overheated. I do have it close by the torch. It's basically where my face is. But if my face can handle it, I would think that, well, I guess electronics, metal, those kind of things, the circuitry gets hotter than my face. All right, that's looking nice. It's starting to seal pretty good there. Make sure we get the front of the face all sealed. Hey, so you guys out there outside of the U.S., have you guys been paying attention to anything going on out here in the U.S. recently? Are they showing us in the national news over there? and in LA and everything that's going on with the ICE protests and all that. You guys get all that news out there of us? Because we don't really hear too much about what's going on in your area unless we're tuning in. Like I actually am subscribed to a lot of other countries' news, and like the India news and Australia news, New Zealand news. So I watch a lot of what's going on around the world. I like to pay attention to things that's going on. World Economic Forum, the United Nations, the CDC, the WHO, always keeping track of things. I like to see what's going on in Norway and Sweden. That's where the Norwex products come from. Norwex from Norway. If you don't know about Norwex, you should check it out. My wife has a consultant link, but I believe she can only ship or take orders from individuals in Canada and in US, but she can only reach out to outside the country as far as Canada, I believe. I don't think she can go any further than that. But you guys can order from all over the world. I don't think you can order through her website. All right, so I believe I got the whole front face of that nice and rounded there. There's like one little spot, and I'm like, is that rounded or what? We are saturated with American TV news for 20 years. Most people would know more. That's interesting. You know, I watched the UK, the Parliament, and how things work, and it's interesting how they squabble. They go back and forth. You know, one person I like watching is this guy John Hicks. He rides around on an e-bike, on an electric bike in LA. You know, and I was watching him long ago before all this other stuff. And so whenever things like this pop off in LA, then he's always there and he rides around and he's really quick and swift. He knows the city. He knows the ins and outs. He knows how to get through like little alleyways and little walk paths and going through parks, and you know, he can jump curbs and all kinds of stuff. And so he's a lot of fun to watch. His name is John Hicks. John, John, and then Hicks. If you go to his channel, tell him the Glassman's World sent you. I think it's cool. I think what he does is cool. He doesn't stay very long at the front lines because he doesn't want to get arrested or get into trouble. So, you know, that could be aggravating to some people because they want him to stay there and be in it. But he's like, no, I'm going to make sure I get home every night. So he's smart about it. But he gets in there and he's on the front line for a minute or two or whatever, you know. One pendant, man. This is going to take an hour. Yeah, this is definitely going to be like a $60 to $80 pendant. This thing is super chunky. A chunky monkey right here. His channel, did you get it? John Hicks, John, and then Hick_S. He just rides around on an e-bike. And he's been there like every night. And then he's also got videos that he has like edit it down so he's got highlights, so you don't have to watch like his. I don't know. He was out there one day for 8 hours, like a full 8 hour shift. Like, dang, John, that's crazy. Pro cannabis lawyer. Greetings, greetings with the shaka. Yes, I. All right, so I should have been done with this about almost 20 to 30 minutes ago. Just now finishing up here. I want to make sure that, after all this time and love and everything, I don't want to just like rush off and be like, okay, I got to go. Let's just finish it up real hastily fast. As long as I get over there before 9, I think my friend, client will be happy. But I did say I'd get there by 8 a.m. and now I'm a liar. That sucks. I like to be able to keep my word on things, but I should have started this sooner, I guess. But I'm glad you guys get to catch me. A lot of y'all are here on the daily or on every live stream, which is awesome. I'm glad to have some regulars finally coming through and kicking it, chatting. During my giveaway, I had all kinds of people coming in and chatting it up. Like, okay. I got to do some more giveaways, I guess, huh? Either that or I just give away glass to people who are the most consistent and most participating or something. I don't know. But then I'd have to send it all the way around the world. Halfway across the world to get it to some of y'all. But I guess that's what we're doing here, right? On YouTube is we're on the global scale here. I guess that's kind of part of the plan, right? Okay, one last big push. I think that's going to do it for me right there. That looks nice and smooth. And then the bumps right there perfectly. Where I want to add the pendant top. Man, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. The wig wag in there. I can't really get to the view. That's going to look dope. The magnification on this is going to be sick. So that's the other thing. Is so you can wear it either way, right? That's how I'm hoping to make this. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, dang, I should have maybe added more white to make it a thicker, bolder band there. I don't have time to do that now. We'll be here until an hour and a half. It's already been an hour. We're an hour and 5 minutes in. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I'm just rounding up this front again against the white here, making sure that's nice and smooth and rounded, and also getting all the clear nice and molten here. We're about to putty it up and pull it off. You can see it a bit, huh? Yeah, the Wig Wag. This isn't a beginner glass blowing lesson. This is just a little demonstration. And I wanted to make some of these again, but usually they come out like this small and not like that big. Oh my gosh. Okay, calm it down. Calm it down. It's crazy getting so big like that. That's ridiculous, man. Keep thinking, boy. All right. So you guys want to know a cool little fun fact about me? I've worked in the movie industry here since about 2004, I believe. And have you guys ever seen that movie, Tom Hanks movie, Finch? It's like one of his latest ones that came out. Oh my gosh, I hope this pendant is strong enough. Oh my gosh, rounding this out's gonna take a while. So, I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, Finch. It had the robot. It had the dog Goodyear in it. When we worked on that movie, I worked on it. I work as an extra, background extra. So you might see me in movies from time to time, but it's going to be extremely rare unless I ever get like another better uh, better position on the camera or something like that. I thought I was going to get some amazing camera time for this movie, Finch. And what's crazy is we worked on that movie for about 5 days straight. A bunch of us, I would say at least 100 of us, if not more. I don't know. There was a big group of us. I'd say about 180, quite a bit. And that movie, at the end of the movie, you know, when you watch it, you get all the way to the end, you find out there's no one else in that movie. It's just Tom Hanks with the robot and his dog, right? And then, I don't know if I want to give you a spoiler or anything, but at the end, you know, then it's just like the dog and the robot, right? They're looking over, I think they're looking over a bridge. I'm not going to give the whole spoiler alert or whatever, or spoilers. But what I thought was interesting was, like, you know, they had a few supporting actresses actually. There was one individual who I guess got known for the show Orange is the New Black or something like that. I never watched it. I think it was like had to do with like female prison or something like that. Maybe on HBO. But yeah, there was a female star in that show, and she was in Finch, and she was a supporting actress, and there was a few others there that we were working with, and also Tom Hanks was on set there too, and it was a lot of fun. We were like out in the middle of the desert. We actually filmed in Socorro, New Mexico, in what's considered like the military testing zone. And also out there is a whole bunch of like mines. I think there's a bunch of gold and silver mines out there. And like I said, we were out there for 5 days. We did so many different takes and scenes. There was a scene where I was like picking corn and the camera was like rolling, panning right by, like on the track, and going by and getting through the corn and getting all the workers through the corn, and then at the end was gonna like be right on me, like an extreme close up. You know, I was gonna be all huge on the big screen. But then that movie, it got delayed and got delayed and got delayed on when it was like finally gonna come out. And then finally, like after a year and a half of thinking it was gonna be released, it finally got released on I think just, what was it, Apple TV, and never went to the theaters. I'm like, oh man, like that is so messed up. No, you can't see any of us. So that's the thing, is we worked on it for 5 days, and I thought that I was going to have this amazing camera shot. You know, they were driving up to our village. Like our whole plot was that we were like the last survivors on Earth, and we actually had a homestead and a bunch of like shanties. We were living out in the desert, and we were trying to like plow fields and grow our own food, collect rainwater. Like we were living off grid and doing what we could. You know, the whole storyline was that we hadn't seen living creatures or anyone else in years, I think. You know, there's like even some generations born on our homestead that they never even knew what a dog or a cat or birds were, because in the movie all of that was gone, right? And I don't want to give away too much, but basically they were supposed to find us. They come across our settlement there, and then the robot comes in carrying the dog, and they asked us to basically take care of the dog, and they were going to leave the dog with us, so the dog had human companionship finally. And then the robot was there for a while. His name was Jeff, and he was going to help us out with like plowing the fields. Something that would take us months to do, he did in a few hours, because he's a robot, you know. And I think like our bobcat was down or something, so he actually put the plows on himself and then just dragged them with chains or something. Like, I don't know. It was pretty cool to film that whole scene and everything. But then watching the movie, when it came out, and you're like, wait, we're not even in it. They didn't even show them go to the settlement at all. And I don't know if that's something that they're going to like put in for like part 2, if they're ever going to come out with a part 2. Uh-oh. Starting to spit. Man, this is going to take a while. I hope I can melt this down quick enough. I'm almost about to turn on the big torch here. But I don't know if this little punty will handle the big torch. It'll probably just flop over. So yeah, I've worked on a lot of films. I actually pulled up my my bio and started working on it and trying to figure out how many movies I've been in, since when, and what production dates they were made. There's a movie that was released out there in the UK called Doubting Thomas, which was released here as like Spy School. And it was kind of like a children's movie, almost like a Disney movie kind of thing. And that movie, I'm actually on the DVD cover, on the back of the DVD cover. It was in a scene where we were like all looking up as the helicopter was flying above us. As they were getting away, they were kidnapping the president's daughter in that movie there. But that was the first movie that I really got to work on. And it was one that my oldest child got to work on as well, and it's the first movie that we all worked on together, which was cool. We were both in that scene. What's interesting is you can see me on the back of the DVD cover, but right where my child is, it's like they had edited or cut it off right there, so you can't see where my child was standing. Oh my gosh, come on, come on. I got to melt this down round. It's taking forever. There's such a big divot in the center here. Just trying to get all that clear glass and everything to just all flow. It's slowly moving, getting there. There's a lot of difference between soft glass and boro. If I kept it in that long, it would just melt. Yeah, it would just like become liquid, like taffy or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, this I have to keep it in there so long so it can just finally melt it. It's way different. Yeah. Would it be easier to work with? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it sets up quickly, so you have to know your time frame, you know? Like things that when you heat it up, it stays, your whole piece stays hot, like you said, right? And if you overheat it, it would melt to the ground. For us, you know, we have to make sure we keep it molten and keep it molten, because as soon as we take it out of the flame, it already starts to cool down and harden. It sets up. Within like 5 seconds, it's back to being hard and not molten anymore. So to keep it molten, it takes a lot. So easy to work with? I don't know. I guess it's as easy as using a shovel and digging through the bigger parts of the rock. It just takes a little bit more oomph and more time, I guess. See, and because it takes so long to melt, that's the other thing, is it's very tedious. So a soft glass worker may become impatient with the boro, and then a borosilicate glass worker might overheat the glass too much and boil it, melt it. If they were working soft glass, you know, if I went to soft glass, I would really have to be extremely careful and cautious, and I'd have to know, oh, I have it hot enough. It's going to stay hot like that for a while. I don't know how long till it like hardens, 30 seconds, 20 seconds. There's a huge difference in soft glass compared to borosilicate glass. Yeah, just make sure you don't mix up your rods. Keep them separate. You don't accidentally grab the boro or grab the soft glass. And then the other thing too is I'm working a premix torch here. I don't know if premix is better than a surface mix, but I've worked on a minor before, and I've always thought that the minor surface mix torch, I always thought was a little soft. Trying to overdo what the torch tip can handle. Trying to kick out more oxygen than it can push. It's almost there, like so close. Come on, come on. My goal is to upgrade my torch and work a boro, make pipes. Oh yeah, that's the thing, is most people, once they get into boro, then they're making the pipes, right? And I realize that if I want to lessen my competition, I get out and I get away from the pipe game. Or the pipes that I make are completely different than what others would make. If you go to Facebook, I don't know if you guys can check out the US pages, right? on Facebook. If you go to Facebook, look for the UFO pipe. Look for that page, not group, not persons or people, but the page. Okay, oh my gosh, we're finally there where the divot's gone. Now, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna flatten this front. So that way, whoever purchases this one, if they'd like to wear it the opposite way, they can. Although this one looks like, you know, that window right there is definitely the front. That's what it looks like to me. But being able to flatten that really does help to get some of those spots that were a little thick or a little bit bulbous. You get those down. Now we'll just round it out and give it a nice fire polish. We'll put on the loop, throw it in the kiln. The kiln should be hot enough. Oh, it's been over an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes. I bet you that kiln's already up to about 1100 degrees. All right, so now I just need to round out the front, get rid of the tooling marks from the paddle. Ah, you scared me. Yeah, is she wondering if I'm coming? Yeah, no, I remember about Joyce. I was saying that I thought this was going to be done at 45 after, and I'm already 30 after. It's taking me over an hour to make this. I thought it was going to take 30 minutes. Yeah, this is going to be like at least a $50, maybe $80 pendant here. All right. Yeah, no, I can message her on here and let her know. Yeah. She just wanted to make sure I was there before 9. And I told her I'd get there at 8. Thank you. All right. So that was my wife making sure that I was not forgetting, because she knows me. Sometimes I get on the torch and I just start working. And I'm like, oh, wait, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. So that's extremely helpful. But I was already on it. As you guys know, that's what I've been worrying about this whole time. All right. I think I'm happy with this. All right. Now we just get the white again. And then we find where I connected the 2 dots, which is basically, I don't know if you can see it, because it's so, oh yeah, you can see it right there. Boom. See, it's all thick. So that's where we're going to connect this now. Oh, and then how do we want to connect this? Dang it. Now I'm like, I could just get a tube, cut a tube, make a barrel loop. And I could also flatten a loop to make it like a barrel. Here, we're just going to attach it because I'm not ready to do all that right now. So we're going to go wide. Going to make this super, super thick. super big and chunky. I might flatten it to widen it. I'll show you how I do that. I'm just trying to keep it thick, just laying the whole rod as thick as the rod is, bringing it around. So I basically just, pull it like this, attach it, flame cut it off. And I'll make sure that this bottom part always connect it here. Now, like I said, I was thinking about flattening it. I can leave it like that. That actually looks pretty nice. We're just going to leave it. It looks good. I was going to go around and flatten the whole thing, but then that's going to take more time. I need to hurry up and go. So I'm about to let you guys go. We're just going to finish this up here, clean up the punchy mark after we're done with the loop. I thank you so much for tuning in and watching. This has been a simple tutorial. Simple. This has been an extended, elongated tutorial. Here, let me soften this flame here. Now that we're working with white, we don't want to boil the white. The white's a little bit softer of a color, so there's some colors, when you're blowing glass, it's all about the experience, and part of the experience is knowing on whether or not your glass is can handle certain heats or not. This is supposed to be a reversible. I mean, I guess I can make it to where it's still reversible. I just got to kind of thicken this backside a little bit better. I'm just trying to make sure that now it looks like that whole part that I connect it looks like it's just all flowing as the way the front flows too. So now I'm just going to hit it. Sometimes it's easier to put the move the puntee before putting the loop, but I've gotten used to being able to put them on sideways and being real careful not to allow it to fall to one side or the other. But it is a lot easier to control the glass and to shape it if you do put the puntee on the end here, so that way you're holding it at the end and spinning it around instead of trying to do what I'm doing, which, as you can see, I'm like moving my arm all the way around and twisting it and turning it and trying to keep that glass on the proper axis. But it saved me one step. I saved a little bit of time by not having to do that. That's all. All right, and now that looks like it's centered on there. So if you want it to wear it this way, you could wear it that way as well. Now I'm just perfecting the roundness and the how it looks. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. As I tweak it one more time. Okay, now I'm happy with that. Okay, all right. So this is the back side, right? And then the front, when you look at it, it's completely magnified. So you'll be able to see it a lot better right there. And as you can see, this thing is huge. It's big. All right, so we're gonna pop it off here and put it in the kiln. And then hopefully the kiln's over 1080 or anywhere near that. So then I can just easily, all right, hopefully this doesn't crack now. We haven't had heat nearby the center in a minute. Okay, we got it good. All right. Gotta be careful. Also, man, did my punchy pull off part of that? I think it pulled off part of my spiral. All that work for what? All that for what? Dang, my punchy overheated and snapped off that nice little chunk, beautiful design of the spiral. I can leave it open like that and add a dot of red and make it look like it's supposed to be there. Like a red eye. That'd be kind of cool. Hold on. Hold on. Don't get ahead of yourself now. You put a little black dot in the middle first. Okay. I meant to do that. Now it's going to be an eyeball. So now maybe what I'm going to have to do is actually do this every time and make sure that the punchy rips off a perfect circle. And then I can put a little eyeball design in there. That's cool. Whatever. Now it's worth $100. Just kidding. All right, hopefully I can melt down this glass real quick though. Just keep it nice and thick. Flatten it down. You know what would have also been really cool would have been to put an opal right in there. Right in the center. I don't know if you guys work with opals in your glass and soft glass, but we have these Gilson opals, lab created opals that we can use in the Boro. I think it might only be compatible with Boro. I don't know if you guys have the opportunity to do Gilson opals, actually. Interesting. All right, now I just got to round it out. Make sure it's not just like a nice little flat spot on the back. Oh, that's going to look awesome. Right? Those happy little trees. Just a nice little happy mistake. Instead of Bob Ross, I could be Bob Rez. Yeah, I meant to do that. For sure. Of course I did. That's going to look cool. Oh, man. Let's go around the rim, and maybe it'll create like a darkness and a lightness with that red. I don't know. It might just come in just full like dark pomegranate or like blood red. You see that? Look at that. There's the dot. Dead center. Perfect. Boom. Done. All right. I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I got to drop this thing into the kiln real quick, and then I got to get out of here. I'm going to message my client, let her know, or my friend, client, friend, either way. Let her know that I'm on my way. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the chat. I do appreciate it. Makes it a lot funner to sit here and actually have conversation and just talk to myself for an hour and a half. All right. Love and blessings. I'll see y'all later. There you go. Crazy wig wag. I can't wait for the colors. I'll bring this back on the next video, on the next live stream, and that way you can see the colors, because it looks just dark, but there's, you know, the reds, the whites, the caramel. There's a lot of beautiful colors in there. Now we got that red and that black dot in the center. Hopefully you can see that black dot with that red, and hopefully it doesn't just like disappear. That looks cool. I love it. All right. You guys have a good one. I'm dropping it in the kiln. Drop it while it's hot. Drop it while it's hot. Oh my gosh, it's only the 1020. It's not even at 1080 yet. Okay. All right. That means I got time for dabs. All right. Laters. You guys have a good one. Love and blessings. I'm out. Oh, I just see Pro Cannabis Lawyer says I would like to buy it if you want to sell it. We'll have to figure out that. All of that. All right. We'll talk about that on the next one. Later.